Hello everyone, welcome to Energy Turtle. First, we're discussing the Germans preparing the potential for gas shortages during cold weather in the coming winter. The German Gas Network Industry Association, FNB Gas, which represents 12 grid operators, expressed concern about the possibility of gas shortages in the event of cold weather next winter. According to FNB Gas, the technical capability of the transmission system operators had been stretched to the limit during the winter of 2022-23. Managing Director Inga Posch stated that they couldn't provide reassurances for the next winter. Germany was one of the EU countries most affected by the curtailment in Russian gas flows through 2022, with supplies via Nord Stream gradually reduced and then halted at the end of August. The impact of Russia's conflict with Ukraine will continue to affect gas markets, and under certain circumstances, such as particularly low temperatures next winter, gas shortages could still occur. Despite the difficulties, Germany managed to secure supply last winter, mainly due to the mild winter and consumption-conscious gas customers. Grid operators facilitated the flow of gas from alternative sources into Germany through network flexibility and ad hoc measures. These alternative sources included more imports from Norway, the Netherlands, and Belgium, as well as gas from France and Switzerland. Germany also started direct LNG imports for the first time in December last year. In preparation, Germany filled storage sites to 100% of capacity in November last year. FNB Gas reported that Hub Manager bought and stored almost 50 terawatt-hours of gas, with approximately 12.5 terawatt-hours sold by March 31, 2023, and the remaining volumes kept in storage. The German energy regulator Bundesnetzagentur has launched a consultation on the country's draft gas network development plan for 2022 to 2032. The revised plan reflects Germany's shift away from Russian gas and increased imports of LNG. Bundesnetzagentur President Klaus Müller stressed the need to adapt the gas network to permanently replace Russian gas imports and diversify Germany's gas sources. Next, we're talking about story of Australia to be stable energy supplier while targeting net zero emissions. According to Madeleine King, Minister of Resources and Minister for Northern Australia, Australia is making strides in emissions reduction, repurposing, and recycling of infrastructure in decommissioning activities, and carbon capture and storage, CCS. The Australian government has recently enacted landmark climate reforms to ensure the country meets its net zero commitment. Additionally, modifications to the petroleum resources rent tax will boost confidence that Australians are receiving a fair share of the return from their resources. King emphasized that Australia's manufacturers rely heavily on gas, accounting for 42% of their final energy use and 26% of Australia's total domestic gas consumption in the fiscal year 2020-21. Australia plays a significant role in the global energy markets, contributing about 21% of global LNG exports. The country's primary LNG trading partners include Japan, South Korea, Singapore, and China. In fact, Australia is the largest LNG supplier to Japan, providing 43% of Japan's total LNG imports in 2022. King highlighted that the extraction and processing of natural gas and oil accounted for 8.4% of Australia's emissions in the fiscal year 2020-21. In light of this, the country is committed to reducing industry emissions through the Safeguard Mechanism, a policy framework that provides long-term stability for companies. Additionally, Australia is exploring opportunities to provide regulatory and administrative certainty for CCS projects. King also pointed out the potential of supporting decarbonization efforts through decommissioning activities. This includes not only dismantling and deconstructing offshore equipment but also focusing on ethical management, repurposing, and recycling of infrastructure. For instance, the steel from offshore infrastructure can be recycled and used for technologies essential for the transition to net zero, such as wind turbines. To facilitate decommissioning, the government is developing a roadmap that will explore pathways to establish a decommissioning industry in Australia. This includes examining opportunities to grow a local skilled workforce, create supply chains, and ensure ethical ways to decommission activities from the offshore gas industry. This strategy aims to capitalize on the estimated $60 billion of offshore petroleum decommissioning activities expected to occur in Australia over the next 30 to 50 years. So, there you have it. Australia is ambitiously making strides in its energy transition journey, balancing its role as a major global energy supplier with its commitment to emissions reduction and net zero targets. Last, we're talking about the United Nations' latest move to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. The United Nations Office for Project Services, UNOPS, has issued a buy tender for 11,577 certified emissions reductions, or CERs. These carbon credits are generated from clean projects registered under the UN-administered Clean Development Mechanism. The tender stipulates that the CERs must carry certifications from the Gold Standard Registry, with one CER corresponding to 1 metric ton of CO2 equivalent. It's important to note that not all CERs are eligible for this procurement. The UNOPS has specifically stated that CERs generated by avoided deforestation, afforestation and reforestation activities, HFC or other industrial gas destruction projects, large hydro, and fossil fuel energy generation projects will not be considered. Additionally, the credits should have been generated not earlier than 2018. This development comes at a time when the voluntary carbon market is transitioning, emphasizing integrity and quality initiatives. In recent times, this market has faced challenges regarding confidence and liquidity due to concerns over the credibility of some credits and projects. Many nature and forest-based projects have come under scrutiny due to allegations of over-crediting. According to the UN's most recent annual sustainability report, known as the Greening the Blue Report, the UN system was 97% carbon neutral in 2021. The UN bodies collectively generated around 1.2 million metric tons of CO2 equivalent in 2021, compared to 2 million in 2019. Air travel and facility operations account for the bulk of these emissions. However, 22% of the electricity consumed by UN bodies in 2021 came from renewable sources. The UN entities have stated their commitment to reducing their environmental impacts. They aim to do this through targeted actions on greenhouse gas emissions, waste management, air and water pollution, and biodiversity degradation. That wraps up today's topic. Stay tuned to our channel for more insights into the world's energy news. Don't forget to hit the like button, share, and subscribe for more. Thanks for watching.